Thank you, Stephen. For me, that was a very sobering couple of minutes there watching that video. I had an operation 4 years ago. I like to think that when I go into having an operation, the surgeon, the anaesthetist, the nurses are all going to be performing at the very top of their game, that their human performance is going to be what I, as the patient, expect it to be. When I leave here tonight, I'm going on a flight back to London. I expect the controllers, the pilots, the engineers, the technicians, everybody in our industry to be getting it right, that their human performance will be as good as it possibly can be. So we heard on that video words like leadership, communication, decision-making, situational awareness, prioritization, and assertiveness. That's where that situation fell down. But that's not unique to the health industry. Those 6 words, which they found there, are just as applicable to our operation, to air traffic control. What I'm really pleased about is that CANSO is taking human performance really, really seriously and recognizes how important it is, not just to the safety of our operation, but also to the efficiency and the effectiveness and the service provision that we provide. So I'm the co-chair of a human performance management work group, which is looking at how can we make human performance as good as it possibly can be for air traffic controllers and others in our industry. So the first question is, so what is human performance? We saw a really good stroke bad example there from the health industry. It's about how well frontline personnel perform their job, be that a controller, an engineer, whoever it is in our organizations. How well do they do their job? It's influenced by lots and lots of aspects. It's influenced by the skills that they have. It's influenced by the knowledge that they have, the experience that they have. What training did they get when they first arrived in the organization? What training do they get throughout their careers? What training do they get when we introduce new technologies or new procedures or new airspace? It's also influenced by how they're feeling, their well-being. Are they at the top of their game? Are they tired and fatigued? Are they under the weather? It's also influenced by the environment within which they work. So what procedures are they using? Are they fit for purpose? Do they actually encourage good performance? Or does the controller have to work around the procedures to make them work? It's influenced by the equipment that they use. Is that equipment fit for purpose again? Does it fit with the way in which the controller does their job? It's also influenced by leadership. And in this room, we have the major leaders in the in the industry across the world. You have a major role to play in encouraging and promoting and getting the best human performance from your people. That also includes the culture. The culture that you set from the top feeds down through the organization and demonstrates how important human performance is. And then finally, the workplace environment. Is it too hot, too cold? Is it too sunny, too dark, too light? That also affects human performance. We expect our controllers to be working 24/7, working in the middle of the night when the body is telling us from a human perspective we need to be asleep. So how do we make sure that our operations rooms are designed in such a way that promotes good alertness, good human performance? I'm not teaching you anything new here. You know all of this. You do all of this already. It's not new, but it has to be managed in an integrated manner. So over the last couple of years, a task force has been working for CANSO, putting together a standard of excellence for human performance management. And it's a tool that's available to you and to your organizations, and it enables you to identify what are you doing today to manage your human performance, and what can you do to improve it in the future? Where should your priorities be for improving human performance? Why should you do that? Because human performance is really, really important. Today, air traffic management is, technical term, a socio-technical system. What it means is that we have people and we have technology working together. No different from the health service. You saw there that the surgeons, the anaesthetists, the nurses, they had equipment there to tell them what the heartbeat was like, what the ventilation was like, and so on. It was giving them information to make decisions. but they weren't working effectively together. The technology and the humans weren't working well enough together in that situation. As we move forward, we've heard this morning, ATC is going to become even more complex, even more interactive. Air traffic is going to double in the next 20 years. We know that many of the controllers in our organizations are going to be reaching retirement age, and therefore we need to be recruiting the next generation of controllers. We know that the technology that the controllers are using is going to be changing. We heard about space-based ADSB this morning. So all of this is going to have an impact on human performance. What we know is that the people in our organizations are those that provide the flexibility, the resilience, and create safety. And in the foreseeable future, the human is still going to be at the center of our operation and still so important to us. So how do we get really good human performance? So stuff you're already doing, we select the right people, we train them, we provide them with the equipment, with the tools, with the support, with an ops room to do their job safely, efficiently, and effectively. And we, all of us here, and all of us back at our organizations, provide leadership and create the right safety reporting and learning culture to get good human performance. So I mentioned earlier the CANSO Standard of Excellence for Human Performance. It includes 12 elements, and they are deliberately put together there as a jigsaw puzzle because they all fit together. The first one there about policy, strategy, and resources, for me, is the sort of the element that underpins it all. If you in this room don't recognize that human performance is important, then you won't be giving it the attention, you won't be giving it the resources, you won't be enabling it to happen in your organization. So the first thing that we as leaders have to do is to recognize that human performance is important and put the resources in place to manage it effectively. The other areas there are very interlinked, so health and well-being, equipment and support tools, etc., etc. I'll give you an example of how they're interrelated. So we're introducing a new technology. Doesn't matter what it is, but it's going to change the way the controller does their job because it's going to give them different information, or it's going to present information in a different way from what they've had previously, or it's going to be situated on their workstation in a slightly different place than it was beforehand. Can we expect the controller just to understand what the change is and to use it effectively? No, we don't. We have to provide them with some training, some awareness, some understanding of what the change is and why it's important. We also have to look at how do we train them and how do we expect them to use it, but also, as Stephen said, how are they actually using it? Because how they actually use it is probably different than the way in which it was designed to be used and the way in which it was trained to be used. We're all people. We try things out. We find new ways of doing things. We're innovative. That's a good thing, but it also means that human performance is affected by that. So we need to look at what actually happens compared to what we think should be happening. So as I say, the Standard of Excellence is available to you. There's a publication on the CANSO website, and there's backup material to support all of that. I encourage you to have a look at it, and here's a short video to explain exactly what it's about.